All right. I hope everybody's doing well. As we all saw, the news this morning, and again, I found out this morning of the hiring of Alan Green as our new athletic director. I don't know where to start. I can just tell you this: I'm really excited about that hire. Again, had nothing to do with it, but just focusing on coaching football, and obviously wasn't on the search committee. Nor did I have time to be on that. But I'll start off by saying, first of all, I thank Chancellor Gable for doing such a great job on this thing. I think Alan is a slam dunk hire. I don't think you could have gotten anybody in the world better. And I say that for a couple reasons. I think it starts with people. Probably 2017, maybe 2018. I think probably 2017. I was out in Arizona with my son at a Fiesta Frolic, kind of a coaches and meetings and all that kind of stuff out there. And I had an opportunity. I got paired up. I didn't ask to get paired up, but things happen for a reason. I got paired up to play with Alan Green at a beautiful golf course out in Arizona, and obviously spent the day with him and. Had kind of stayed in touch the entire time. And matter of fact, when he got that Auburn job, I texted him when he was at Buffalo and texted him, "Hey, congrats, happy for you. Man, you're going to do a great job down there." All those things. He was a guy that I wanted to stay in touch with. It was kind of like this guy's top notch, and it starts with the people. I haven't watched how he ran an athletic department. I'm not worried about that. The chancellor took care of that. But as far as people and wanting to work with somebody, the chancellor did an unbelievable job of nailing that hire, which is significant. So I thank her. And I'm excited to work with Alan. Talked to him this morning as well. Congratulated him and his family. He is pumped up to be here. I guess you'll get a feel next week, and we'll get a chance to sit down next week, him and I. But he's excited, and that's about all I got to say there. On the football business, which is, seems like my press conferences, whether it's a Monday or Friday, I get tied in with some big news that I got an opportunity to come speak to you about. But, the main reason you're here, besides that exciting news of new leadership there, is for Syracuse. And, I feel like we're playing Syracuse for the first time because it's a brand new staff. Obviously, first time playing him. Fran Brown, new head coach there. He's done an unbelievable job in such a short time. Obviously, his pedigree, his coaching tree, going from Matt Rule. He's been with Kirby Smart, Will Muschamp. He's been around some tremendous coaches, at some of the highest level of football as well. So he's done an incredible job. He's got 10 transfers on defense, 6 on offense. The Fidel Diggs kid, defensive end, is phenomenal. A guy you better know where he is every snap, and they move him around. And then, obviously, that one transfer quarterback, Kyle McCord, is a tremendous football player. If you're not a Pitt fan, if you're not a Syracuse fan, but you're a quarterback fan, you should get your tickets now because that guy's going to play in the National Football League. We watched him on third down the other day. I don't know if he throws an incomplete pass, especially on third and medium. He throws darts. He's accurate. He's smart. He knows where to go with the ball. He will be the best quarterback that's walked in to play us in this stadium in a while. So we got a great chore ahead for us to defend him and a slew of really good receivers. Like I said, they've got some transfers in that are phenomenal players. One of his favorite targets is a Georgia transfer that Fran Brown obviously had a relationship, maybe recruited him. I don't know the insides from Georgia, and got him to come with him to Syracuse. So, he's transformed that football team. I think they're elite, and he's got. Jeff Nick's offensive coordinator came from, pedigree of NFL teams, but was with the Carolina Panthers last. He worked with him at Baylor. So he's coached, 15 years in the National Football League, and the offense looks like a pro style offense. He's got, great personnel on offense. And then Elijah Robinson's their D coordinator, who Fran grew up with in Camden, has been his guy, came from Texas A&M. So it's a whole new deal up there. And happy for Fran. He's done a tremendous job, and it's going to be a big battle between a 6-0 and a 5-1 football team Thursday night. So get your tickets. Jerry, you going to be there?
I'll be there.
Okay, let's go. Questions?
You mentioned transfers. Almost half the schools in the ACC have a transfer quarterback. And
How about the SEC?
Let's talk about the ACC right now. And just transfer quarterbacks.
Do your homework now. Okay.
Just transfer quarterbacks everywhere.
Yeah.
Specifically the ACC.
Yeah.
Maybe half the schools in the ACC have a transfer quarterback.
Yeah.
What is it about the conference that attracts these guys? And have they changed the competitive landscape of the ACC?
Yeah, I mean, we can go back to Nathan Peterman. Like we've had, I think, the transfer quarterback's been happening for a while. Matter of fact, I think there's a stat out there that 66% of high school quarterbacks transfer. That's crazy. I mean, I don't know if you heard that one. But 66%, I would say it's about the same in every conference. The guys are, flipping. I think, the cohesion between a quarterback and his offensive coordinator / quarterback coach is critical. If you're not feeling it, they just take off and they find, that marriage. It's kind of like if you're not feeling it in a marriage, you go, you find another one. And I think it's the same thing for quarterbacks. I mean, especially, in this day and age, you want to find you want to get that guy that believes in you, that you can turn him into gold. And I think that's obviously what happened with Eli. To me, that's what's happened with McCord. If obviously he wasn't good enough to play at Ohio State or whatever, I don't know what those issues are, but he's phenomenal. So you find that right fit for you, and but quarterbacks around the country transfer. I would imagine if you went and searched the SEC and the Big Ten, you're going to see the same thing happening. I just saw someone's quarterbacks out this week, and Jeff Sims. I'm like, Jeff Sims, how do I know that name? And I was like, oh, the Jeff, like Nebraska, Georgia Tech, and like he's on his third school. I'm like, I knew that name. I had to do a little research to find out. But so it's happening everywhere. But ACC is the conference of quarterbacks, right? So maybe that's the reason. I truly believe since I've gotten here, the quarterbacks that we've played against and the quarterbacks that are in the NFL from the ACC is better than any conference, period. And so if I'm a quarterback at a different conference, I want to come to the ACC. So maybe our percentage is higher. I don't know.
Alan Green has a background in NIL management. How important do you think that is given the current landscape?
Yeah, I mean, that's it's a great question. I think everything's important, right? If that's all he's got, we got problems. I think he's the whole package, Amanda. I think he's got it all. But certainly that was something the chancellor, and again, it's a great question for the chancellor, probably more than me. But I think everything's important. Now, you can't just have a guy that, or a gal that just does one thing. Hey, I'm good at this, but I'll manage these. I mean, I think he's a superstar. I think he's a superstar because he's a great person. He's got a personality. He's going to go out and help us raise money, whether that's for, the University of Pittsburgh, athletic department, or if it's for NIL and for our collective. I think he can do it all.
What was, as far as Kate and Eli this past week, what were some of the things they focused on? What did you hear from them, and what did you see them really kind of going after that Cal game?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those games. Again, first thing I'll give is give Cal credit, but I think just sometimes as a player, again, it goes back. Well, so let's start with the coach. Just of feeling uneasy about what happened on the left side of your offensive line and kind of getting a little cautious. That's probably one of them, and then just being over anxious to go make a play. I think you're playing a good football team. You just got to be careful, and So again, it's a learning lesson. Let me tell you, like walking out of that game with a win and not playing very good on offense. What's better than that, right? I mean, there's nothing better than that. Just sat in a receiver quarterback meeting last week, whatever day that was. Just listening to, they get coached up, like a lot of things, we learned a lot of things from that game. And our players learned a lot. You got to learn from your mistakes, but there's no loss. Trust in Eli. I think he's spectacular. I think he's going to bounce back. But, sometimes when you try too hard, that's a problem. But, he's going to be fine.
Did he run around enough in that game, Cal game?
I don't know. Maybe it's a great question for him, Jerry. I mean, did he run around enough? Could he run around enough? I mean, I think they did a good job at, containing the pocket. Every quarterback or every defense is going to do a little bit different. Are they just going to get you, or are they going to try to capture you, as we've talked maybe in the past? But they did a nice job at kind of just sealing and pushing the pocket and condensing things. There wasn't, if an offensive, if a quarterback sees this big old hole as wide as this aisle here, it invites you to take that. But when the seams are smaller and you're kind of going, if I I try to sneak through there, is that guy going to stick his arms out, grab me by the face mask or the shoulder and pull me down? And it's a bad scramble. So you got to feel those lanes. And if you got the right ratios, it's harder to get out. And I think they did a good job of keeping him in there and making him have to throw it out of there. And they did a good job on the back end. And again, we'll learn from it. I think it was a great learning game, and we got the win at the same time.
You guys were able to get to the quarterback a lot this past week. Just kind of how important is it to replicate that process to maybe, or replicate that performance, take the pressure off the secondary?
Yeah, getting pressure on the quarterback is obviously critical every week with Kyle McCord back there, with the ball in his hand. I mean, let me just tell you, third and medium, I mean, if you look at third and medium, okay, and third and long, he's good too. But third and medium, it's like this. I'm watching a videotape, like the guy throwing an incomplete pass. I mean, like he's special. I mean, he's as good a quarterback as I've seen, that we've got to defend this week. So, pressure on the quarterback, hurries on the quarterback, making him, again, he's gonna give him. He does a great job in the pocket of just giving ground. If he's getting pressured, of giving ground, and then it's like, how do you complete that ball? He's like Houdini back there. So, he's fun to watch.
You have over 100 yards receiving to Andre's the tight end from Cal.
Yeah.
What kind of, is there any different challenges Oronde Gadsden presents?
Yeah. Gadsden, presents the same issue, okay? And they got, problems all over the field. But Amanda, the biggest problem is when you don't do your job and you don't cover the guy, he's going to catch the ball, okay? If you go back and look at that tape, I mean, the one time he went right down the middle and, we've got it busted coverage. Everybody else is locked down. It's like, if you watch it, you're going, why is someone covering that guy? Why is someone covering that guy perfectly? Well, there's nobody on number 3. Like, what happened? Okay, so we all know, I mean, everybody knows in the entire stadium, like, someone messed up, right? It's a coverage bust. And then there's some other times he caught one across the field where it was a scramble. We're in a certain coverage, he didn't pass it off. But, that comes down to pressure. I mean, scramble, you got to lock on your guy, and we didn't lock on, and he caught one, coming out the back door. But I think the best one is like when our guys are laser focused in a 2-minute situation, we go 4 plays and we're off the field and the game's over. But yeah, that's what it comes down to, that focus for 60 minutes. It can't be, 58. 58 will cost you. And it costs us, you kind of go, want to go put pressure on the quarterback and someone gets anxious like, I think I can get home. You got to cover your guy if your guy goes out. And it wasn't like the tight end was in the box and you thought maybe he was going to block. He was out there wide and we didn't cover him. So it's just a mental bust. Some guys, you have a little something pop in your head and you forget. So, again, great opportunity, to learn from those problems and still get a win.
How did you feel about the way Terrence Enos and Jason Carter played on the left side? And if you have to go with replacements on those 2 spots again, would it be those 2 guys again?
Yeah, Terrence Enos, was the unsung hero on offense. So I can tell you that Terrence Enos played really well. Coming in and replacing Branson, he got that opportunity, so he did a phenomenal job. And Collier played okay, like he has played. We'd like a little bit better in there. Didn't play as good as he wanted to or we wanted to, but we got to coach him better too.
Coach, you guys are 6-0 for the first time in over 40 years. You obviously knew this group was special, but does this shock you at all that you're standing here at 6-0?
Nothing shocks me. We could have been sitting here, last October 18th and been 6-0 as well, in my mind, because you're always positive, and I loved our kids last year. But just this team's just got a different resilience, and you love the team week by week by what they do. You kind of go, wow, you did it again. You did it again. You came back. You hung in there. So it's every week. It's how they play, how they respond, through the adversity and even the successes they've had. And but that's in the past, and we're working on the next. I'm not surprised. I'm never surprised at anything in this world. But we need to respond, and we had 3 great days of practice and preparation already. And we'll get back up on Sunday and have another one then, and Monday, Tuesday, and get ready for the game.
Defense was great against Cal. What makes you think it could be sustainable over the last 6 weeks?
Well, I think that, like, little by little, you see improvement. You see that young defensive lines. You continue to see Kyle Lewis and Lovelace played outstanding. Going back to Cal. I mean, obviously Rasheem Biles didn't play in that game, and he will this weekend. But but Lovelace played his tail off, I threatened him I threatened Lovelace. I was going to change his number because I really loved how he played number 35. And he'll laugh because I'm telling this story. So I text him saying, I think you play good in 35. I want to change you back to 35. I didn't like 0. You were a better player in 35. Coach, I'll show you. And guess what? He showed me. So my hat goes off to Braylon, just playing like he did, having the game he did. He was special. And you lose Lovelace, or excuse me, you lose Biles for a game, and all of a sudden Lovelace steps up, and you're like, wow, that's what we've been looking for. We just found another player that could be an all-ACC player. So that's what you expect guys to step up when they need to. And but I've seen just Lovelace, whether it's Jimmy Scott. I mean, these guys just keep getting a little bit more confident. The more the more reps they get, and it's called development. And again, we do a good job developing our guys from year 1 to year 4. Or game 1 to game 4, 5, or 6.
Do you think this is the deepest group of linebackers you've had since you've been here?
Not really. Not as I remember there was one year in June sitting out on the field. I was looking around like, whoa, where are our linebackers at? Like it looked. I don't remember what year it was. Been here too many years, but there's. I mean, we've got special guys. I mean, people would say, oh, you lost a couple. How could it be your deepest? But we've got, Jordan Bass, it just keeps getting a little bit better every game, which is what we wanted. We don't, that instant success is scary, but like he keeps getting better. Jeremiah Marshall got a chance to get, some meaningful reps, not mop-up duty at the end, and he learned some things, I think, from Saturday. So, and he's going to be a really good player. So we've got, we've got playmakers. We got special guys. I don't know if it's the deepest. Maybe it is. Maybe I lied to you. I don't know. Maybe by accident I would, Jerry. By accident. I probably should say it's the best, right? I don't know.
Pat, how's Ryland Gandy playing for you this year?
Ryland Gandy's been spectacular. Ryland Gandy has been. I know he came into our season being the number 1 guy. Again, another guy. Him and Rashad Battle both. Continue to get better every week. Tamon is like you don't know what you're going to get going into the year. I mean, you got 3 brand new corners that are taking the majority of the reps. But Ryland's been that guy that is steady, and he's not going to be perfect, but there's no player or corner for sure that's lined up and pressed out there all the way on an island. But so I'm excited for him, and he's actually doing some games tonight. I think he's doing a high school game tonight, doing the color. So I'm being a communications major. Open week, Friday off, so I'm excited. I'm not sure what game it is. I see Donovan McMillan coming in today, all decked out and in his gear for his game. It's a homecoming game, so I think a lot of our guys are going to have fun. Maybe going to some high school games, whether they're going to watch that game, Peter Township game, or they're going to go do the color.
How important is it to have a bye week before Thursday night game? What are your thoughts on Thursday night game?
It's important. It's more than important. It's almost we played early in our early in my tenure here. A North Carolina team play on Saturday and play again on Thursday. That's brutal. That's I wouldn't wish that upon anybody in the country. I think in the NFL when they play on a Sunday they got to play on a Thursday as well. I mean it's just like shouldn't happen. I think it happened to Steelers either last year or the year before. It's like it's near impossible to practice. You're just, I don't know what you're doing. You're going out and playing games. That's it, because you're really not practicing, or you'll have a beat-up team. So, it's huge, and and then it gives you a couple extra. I love a Thursday night game where you have the week off the week before, so you got a few extra days to prepare for a Syracuse team, and then you got a couple extra days to prepare on the back end for that next game. Not only prepare as a coach, but get your team a little healthy. With 2 days means a lot for our kids' bodies. There's a lot of contact.
Since 2018, you guys are 9-1 coming off extended rest. What is your approach that's allowed you guys to be so successful after that, time off?
I didn't know that record. I thought EJ would tell me, but of course, just kidding, EJ. It's a pretty good record after I would say probably that one. Well, not extended time. That was not extended. That was a lack of extension. But I would say, just getting our guys fresh. Freshness is important. I think freshness is good for everybody, mentally and physically. For guys to go to a high school game today, that's mental freshness. Like it's kind of a, just a sigh of relief, just kind of, hey, we don't have to play this weekend. Let's go, have some fun at a high school game. I wish I could go out. The NCAA is taking days away from us, so I don't get to go to a high school game tonight. Usually I would be on a Friday night. So we got our players out scouting, looking for guys. So they report back to me with some video, yes. So.
You're halfway through the season with this new offense. What have you loved about it, and what are some of the issues you've seen with it?
What do I love about it? I like when you score points, and you're one of most explosive offenses in the country. I think that's a bonus. One of the negatives is just time of possession, but I don't know if that has anything to do with that at all. I think there's two things that have maybe impacted time possession in 2024. It's the invention of the green dot. While we're going up tempo, everybody else has slowed it down, to a snail pace, like we were last year. So to me, I'm just worried about being explosive on offense, scoring points, and I trust our defense. And we played an extra quarter last week. I mean, the defense was on the field a quarter longer than our offense was, and that's one of the bad ones, offensively that we've had during the year. So it's hard to play an extra quarter on defense and have the energy that our kids had at the end of that game defensively to get the stops they needed and make the plays they did. I mean, when you look at that field goal, when they went up to line up for that field goal, we talk to our guys all the time about, like a field goal formation, when it lines up, okay, you see, everybody knows what a field goal formation looks like, right? Center, 2 guards, 2 tackles, 2 tight ends, and 2 wings, right? And our job as a defense is to destroy that formation. You're not going to get a block every time, but it's punishing them. And at the end of the day, we want it to not look like a field goal team. You guys can watch some games tonight, and the field goal team lines up, and when it's done, you say, "What? Field goal team? The formation is still there." We want to try to destroy that formation. That's our goal. It's just to, penetrate, pound until something happens. And our kids did that. But I would say the impact of the offense is probably time possession, but I think it's also, been magnified because of, everybody's slowing it down, and everybody's using the green dots, and they're going to wait to break the huddle till about, you'll see, this weekend, I would imagine Syracuse is, they do a little tempo. I would say, like 25% tempo, but we'll see. We, always expect more. But they're going to wait till 15 seconds left in the play clock and then break the huddle. It's happened all year. People are breaking the huddle with 15 seconds left so that I can't talk to Jerry and tell Jerry, hey, watch out for this. Hey, check this, or let's check this. They don't want any communication going on. So that's why they've slowed down, just as it's a response to, hey, we can slow down. We're going to get them. They'd rather have no communication for the defense than line up fast and let you have communication.
Anything final before we wrap things up? Since we're at the end, I'll save this for the end. Tony Bennett resigned today. He decided that poor health, he said, college athletics. Can college athletics survive? I mean, he's one of many high-profile coaches, including Lindsey, who resigned for this. Yeah. A lot of them have decided. And our head basketball coach over there at Villanova as well, a couple years ago, he got out before, caved in. Can it survive? It's going to survive. It's never going to go anywhere. It's who's going to hang in there long enough to continue to ride the waves, right? I mean, to me, you have to change with the times, and it's part of the job. That's what, it's what we do. It's why we do what we do. You got to embrace change, I guess. I mean, some people want to embrace it. Some people are like, like I don't need it, right? And I think, anytime someone says, hey, I don't need it anymore, and he probably decided months ago he didn't need it, and made that decision yesterday. So I just think, it's what you want to put up with, and he decided he didn't want to put up with it anymore. And he was going to probably sit on a beach somewhere and enjoy himself, which God bless him. Why do you hang in there?
Because you love to compete. I mean, you love to compete. You love to play this game, and you love to coach these kids. I mean, you love to be, just the interaction with our guys in a team meeting in the mornings. That's why you do it. If you're just doing it for other reasons, like, if you're just doing it for Saturdays and the joy of a Saturday afternoon, you're struggling. You're out the door as soon as you can. But you better be doing it for more than just a couple of reasons. Better have a lot of reasons. It's the love of the game.
Getting Rodney back in the room, You know, Rodney does a tremendous job of being a leader more than anything. You know, even when he was out, you know, he still was around, you know, leading the guys, talking to the guys, coaching the guys, you know, encouraging the guys, and not just in our room, but on the whole team. You know, so it's huge to have him back, you know, back in the fold. But he's still working his tail off. You know, he meets extra with me all the time. You know, he comes in, does everything that we ask him to do. But he's slowly but surely getting back to, you know, that camp Rodney, where he was in camp. So we're excited for that.
Who has the early edge being the first running back off the bench next Thursday?
You know, the early edge, I mean, all of those guys are just working. You know, I can't even tell you who has the early edge because, you know, we watch those guys work every single day. I grade them every single day on every single detail, and I mean, it's a race, and you know, they're all kind of neck and neck right now of being that next guy off because they're all pretty talented, all for a different part of the game. You know, so it's pretty close right now.
Did Carter do himself okay? You okay last week?
Oh yes, sir. Yeah, he did. He did. You know, he had a little stinger with his shoulder, but he was okay. You know what I mean? It was get back in. When he did get in, he did some good things for us. You know, in pass protection and running the football. But he's been practicing, you know, well, the same as Rodney and Derek and those other guys as well.
We always like to make like comparisons. Who does Desmond remind you of? Is there another back you look at and you're like, Des is that kind of back?
I mean, it was this one back that was real good, kind of back in the days. I think his name was Lindsey, Lamar, I want to say. No. But no, no, seriously. He's a special kind of kid. He's a special player. If I had to give you somebody, it'd probably be Darren Sproles. You know, it's a perfect, you know, example. You know, smaller guy, but I mean, he's again, I know y'all have heard this before, but he's one of the toughest, you know, players I've ever been around, to be honest with you. You know, like we had a cold day the other day. It was pretty cold for, you know, us Florida guys. It was only 40, but, you know, we went the whole practice with no gloves, you know what I mean? And, you know, my hands was freezing, so I know his was, but he caught every single ball. You know, he's just mentally, that's just how he's wired, you know, and he's been that way, and he hasn't changed, you know, with everything going on this season and the success that he's had, you know, he still shows up and be the same person every single day. He works. He's a yes sir kind of guy. You know, he's humble. You know, and I just can't say enough great things about that young man.
You would know the answer to this question. When you're that size and play running back, you know, carry a chip on your shoulder.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Absolutely, every single day. You know, every single day. You know, when I played, and I'm sure he does too. You know, because everybody look at, you know, your stature and don't think, you know, you can do it against the big guys. You know, and he proves it, you know, every single day. So, and he knows he has to. It's not just a one game thing or a one day thing. Like every game, you got to show up. You got to prove that you're durable, prove that you're able to, you know, do it, and he does that.
Kate says, I had biggest kid from Western Carolina, Des Reed, he's really good. Like, what were your first impressions of watching him on film and then meeting him in person, seeing him at that size before he actually?
When I first saw him on film, I knew he was explosive. But then when I saw him in person, I was like, man, I could eat peanuts off of his head, so he must be small. So it made me look big, you know. But but it didn't do it no justice, though. You know, he still continued to prove that, you know, he plays way bigger than what he is. You know, so when I first saw him, he was explosive, and I thought he was a good player. Then when I saw it in person and saw him move around, you know, I still was impressed. But to still see him continue to, you know, progress and move forward and you know, develop in his game, you know, from a passing standpoint and route standpoint, it's just been great.
I think it's one thing to be really fast and have that speed, but it seems like his vision is pretty much unmatched by most running backs. What would you say about how he sees the field whenever he's making moves, whether it's a fast game or if he's just taking the line?
I think that goes with him, you know, just, you know, his work ethic in the classroom. You know, when it comes to meetings and watching film on his own time, or whether it's with me or with Coach Bell, you know, he does a great job of just studying the game, you know, and understanding what we're trying to do. You know, not only just knowing, you know, and playing off instincts, but not only knowing what his job is, but what the O-line job is, you know, what the quarterback's read is, who they're blocking, the whole 9 yards. So he does a great job with that, so that helps his vision. And other than that, he just naturally gifted and has instincts.
Difference between last Saturday being able to finish off some of the sacks after you get pressure versus earlier in the year?
No, those are fun for you guys to talk about in the sacks and all things. As you watch the film, we've made quarterbacks get off the spot, all fall. And it's a team. It's a team, and we were having success on third down. We got in a position where Cal had to throw the football and hold on to it a little bit longer. When those things happen around here and anywhere across college football, we got a chance to sack the quarterback. And as you know, as we go things around here, we're going to get after the quarterback. Whether it's 4 guys, 5 guys, 6 guys, we're going to get after him. So it was good for the kids to finish those plays, and now we got to build on that. But getting the team in a situation where they got to hold on the ball a little bit longer, third medium and third and long, those are 2 different worlds. And we got in those because we've been in some close ball games. We were behind a little bit early in the season and weren't really in a position to pin our ears back. And last week, the kids took advantage of some opportunities.
What does Nate Matlack need to do to finish more of those? How close
How
is
about
he?
the one on down there in the goal line? He jumped up in the air. We say, don't jump, right? But Nate, it's first of all, it's his practice habits that put him in position to get close, more so than a lot of people in college football. And also, second, practice habits. Let's finish more on our Tuesday, Wednesday practices. And Nate knows that, and Nate's his toughest critic. And those things will come. I don't want to certainly tell Nate or anybody else start pressing or anything, though you hear that word in sports. There's, go be true to who you are, Nate. And those plays are going to come. I'm extremely pleased with where he's at, and glad he's playing for us.
Narduzzi has mentioned that Nick James is arguably the best tackle on this team. What has he done that's allowed him to stand out?
Mature. You talk to a young man. It's really refreshing in coaching. And you talk to a young man. You say, this is maybe where you're deficient and where we have to attack things. And Nick has a lot of pride in his work, and he goes to work on those things. We got here in the spring. I said, oh, hey, got to get in shape, Nick. Work your strike. Do some of these things. He specifically went to work on them this summer with our strength coach and did a great job. Now, Nick, you turn on the film, whether it's practice or out there on Saturdays, Nick gets off the football. He plays with low pads, working harder and harder every day to get his strike right, and puts us in position. Whoever has the first meaningful contact at the line of scrimmage, offense or defense, they typically win the rep, and he's working on doing that.
What do you think about how you played against Cal, and obviously Jimmy had a fantastic game overall? What are your thoughts?
I thought we played great. We just did our job. Stopped the run, got after him in the pass. Like you said, Jimmy had a great game. I think all of us, we can keep that going every week.
Still got the Road Warriors shirt on. Are you guys playing at home?
Oh yeah, I just threw this on. That's a cool shirt. I think nothing meaningful about it. This week, but I just thought it was cool to wear.
When you were down to North Carolina, was there any suggestion like, hey, Sean, we'll just put you on a play count. You just play 15 snaps or something like that? Did they try to keep you under wraps a little bit?
I don't know. I don't know if they were planning on that or what, but I had full intentions of going down there and playing as much as I could. I was excited to get back, and I'm glad they let me play.
Is your level of play up to what it was before you got hurt?
I think so. I don't think I lost anything from getting hurt. Really, just it was just a little setback. Just had to get healthy, and then now I feel I'm back in full force.
Was it a different feeling knowing that with you and Nick and pretty much all the defensive line was going to be healthy? You got the full strength going into that kind of?
Oh yeah, it felt great. Have everyone back. We rotate a lot, so we need everybody. So the best what am I trying to say? The best ability is the availability, right? So it was great to have everyone back for the game.
Have the guys talked much about the fact that Pitt is going to bring 11 undefeated teams?
I mean, yeah, it's great we're undefeated, but we focus on the week we're going to. We got Syracuse on. We got to go 1-0 versus them.
Well, you have an off week. You don't usually have Saturdays off, right?
Right.
So are you a college football fan? Are you gonna watch games tomorrow?
Oh yeah, I'm a football fan. I love watching college and NFL. So I'm enjoying this Saturday, finally being able to watch.
Do you follow it closely? Are there games you're looking forward to tomorrow, or?
I'm not too close. I'm focused here, and then I got a big NFL guy too, so I pay more attention to that. But we'll see with the big games. We'll put them on.
We watch you looking for we got this team 2 or 3 weeks ago. We try to scout them. Or we watch them. Where's it going?
Dude, I watch for fun, but if an ACC team is playing, we got them scheduled. Look at them closer and pay more attention.
Narduzzi said there's some guys going to high school games tonight. Reporting back to him. Are you gonna do that with Thunder Valley kids?
I might. I don't know what my day has planned yet, but right down the road, so I can always go down and see what they got. They got some guys there at Central Valley. Yep.
How do you think Nakai's adjusted? Obviously, he's playing DN for most of his time here now. He's a D tackle. I think he's adjusted so far this season.
I think he's a natural D tackle. As soon as he switched down, I think there was no adjustment needed to be made. He was just fit right in. I think he's doing a great job.
The defense is top 10 in terms of tackles for loss with 48. And 16 of them have come since you've been back in the lineup. What has allowed you guys to get that push, get into the backfield so much?
We just had to, guys were hurt, me included, but now we're back full force. We're just playing how we always have been, just getting after it.
What do you think about a young guy like Sierra Edwards having played he's done this year? Obviously, true freshman, against some guys at the end, but what do you think he'd be able to do a season
Sincere, he's great. It's not really common around here for D linemen at least to come in and play as a freshman. I redshirted. Most of the guys on the D line have redshirted. So him coming in and being able to play off rip, it's been great. He's been doing a great job. He makes plays, and I think he's fantastic.
You played a little bit against Syracuse last year. There are always wins and losses every season, but was that game one that kind of stung you guys a little bit more because of how, with them running, tight end taking direct snaps and running for
no.
Is that one that kind of burned a little bit more than most losses?
Oh, for sure, burn. Every loss burns, but we're looking to get that game back, and I have confidence in us that Thursday we're gonna have a day.